Hi.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Long time no see. My name is Sagehero, and this is Mega Man 11. This is the newest installment, so I'm going to get this show on the road. We're going to be playing the normal, any percent, no out of bounds category. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, go.
Woo! First thing you do in the run is say you don't want to watch the tutorials.
I do not, in fact, need to watch the tutorials.
But you might want to know how those gears work.
Yeah, I sure hope I don't need to watch those tutorials. We'll see. So yes, I am playing on a keyboard. This is a real thing. This is actually like arguably the optimal way to play the speedrun. I'm going to rely a lot on Mr. Cab because there's a lot of button pushing in this game, and I pretty much have to push all the buttons all the time. So,
see, Mega Man 11 was released about 13 months ago, a little less than that, and it's on your major platforms. This is your Switch, your Xbox One, your PlayStation 4, and it's on Steam. The keyboard has a couple of advantages over the other platforms, mainly in that it has a lot of dedicated buttons for weapon swapping, and that's going to come in handy later. It's basically more buttons gives you more options, whereas on a normal controller, there's not enough buttons on your major platform controllers to handle everything you can possibly do. So the formula for Mega Man has not really changed. We're still doing 8 robots, and then, you know, Dr. Wily has revealed himself immediately this time. No Dr. Cossack fake out or anything like that. We're here in Impact Man stage first because his weapon is just too good.
this stage is, by the way, impossible. You see me. By the way, press F to pay respects.
Weldy, no!
No, Weldy!
So the other major mechanic in this game is the gears. Is we're going to see Sage start actually using the gears here. There's a speed gear that makes everything around Mega Man move slower relative to him, although most of the time it does also make Mega Man move a little slower too in real time, so for RTA purposes, you don't want to use that all too much. There's also the power gear here, which you're going to start to see right now.
So this is fully charged shot. Goes straight through him.
So basically, as you're going through the door, the game forgets to kind of stop letting that power up. And if you let the power gears, like charge gauge, go all the way full, you will get that final charge shot that you normally only see during the double gear special attack.
Here we go. Okay.
So that was a long elevator room, and we skipped most of it through judicious use of iframes and quick movement through spikes. The dedicated rush coil button in this game is actually really good too, so you don't have to have that kind of pause or LR swap to get to rush coil, find it. You know, you just push the button, rush comes.
So every boss in this game has gear that they activate when they're at half HP, and they usually go invincible for a while when they do that, so we don't want to see that. So we're going to bring them right to half HP, and then try and kill them before we can do anything else. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
This is a difficult kill. And if I mess it up, I lose 16 seconds. I got an achievement, man.
So Impact Man has 2 attacks for the most part. He can charge, he can jump. Sage wants to kind of use this kind of power combo there. The first shot does 3, the red shot does 5, and it penetrates iframes. That's how you beat Impact Man without seeing that desperation power gear phase.
Yeah. So if I basically lured him into his 5th attack, which is a very long attack, and I killed him before he could finish that attack. If I did any more damage to him, he would have activated the power gear as soon as he finished the current attack. So there were some mishaps early, but that was overall a pretty good stage. Got hit a couple times. This game is super unforgiving, and anytime you make a mistake, it punishes you very harshly.
Yeah, a lot of times in this game, you either succeed on the trick or you die. Fortunately, that time there was solid ground underneath us. Life was good. So Tundra is second. I feel like it's mostly because Tundra's weapon is also really good. It's just that Impact is better for speed.
All these achievements, man. Oh, I got a drop. Drops
Nice.
are really important in this game.
The more drops you get, the more you get to use Impact. The more you get to use Impact, the faster you go.
Oops.
So, along with like sort of the normal route for this game for knowing, all right, this is how I'm going to use Impact, this is what I'm going to do, runners of this game kind of figure out where they can use more Impact. So if they get a drop, well, first of all, whenever they kill an enemy, they like to switch to impact just in case that drop appears.
Wow. That guy is zoning me out.
Sniper Joe is sniping today.
Sniper Joes are super fierce in this game. Like, they're no joke. I'm going to pick up 300 bolts here. That's not the world record route, but it's also some RNG proofing because we are going to shop later. The world record just hopes that you get lucky with drops.
It's convenient.
Oh, my God.
Like a lot of the later Mega Man games, this game does have a shop. Big bolts are worth 100, small ones, I want to say are 20.
Oh, that's a little far away.
There.
We made it.
That was a mini boss.
That is actually like the longest any mini boss is going to stay on the screen in this speedrun.
So another thing that's going to happen here, part of the reason we got Impact first is lets us use Rush Coil and get over to that W tank. W tanks in this game refill all of Mega Man's weapon energy up to full for all weapons. So with Impact being so useful, and there's a few other weapons that can be really useful that use a lot throughout the run, W tanks are going to get a lot of use.
And this last screen is super scary, so I'm gonna shut up and play for a second. There we go.
I still say that's one of the worst rooms in the game.
Yeah, that is an extremely scary room. And if you die there, you go back to the room right after the mini boss. It's a very, and you don't refill your ammo when you die, so it hurts. This guy is gonna go bye-bye.
Similar to Impact Man, there's a strat here to kind of take out Tundra Man before he can activate the speed gear. Well done. There was even a shot in there, if you're paying attention to it, where the blue shot intentionally dinks off of Tundra Man spinning so it doesn't actually hit, but then the red shot does hit just to kind of get the damage to the right number precisely. Tundra Storm is, with the power gear, a full screen attack. It's extremely useful. It's also like, it's not just useful for routing in general, it's also the, oh no, sort of bailout weapon.
Yeah, after this stage, it becomes kind of like a panic. Oh, I made a mistake. Just power Tundra real quick. Kills a lot of enemies in one hit. I almost died there. Almost didn't make that jump. Gonna knock this guy back so I can.
Yes, that giant wall of fire is a wall of instant death.
It's
quickly.
death. It also doesn't respect iframes. It goes straight through them.
So keep moving. There's also one of two screens in the stage where there's sort of a lantern enemy. Just to make it a little more fun.
So I saved a little bit of Tundra there so I could use it later.
It's also one trick with Tundra where you can, if you slide, it removes the cooldown, so you can use the weapon a lot really fast. More W tanks. A lot of runners, the first time they go through this game, especially if they don't have Tundra in this stage, don't know that you can freeze that firewall behind you. So this stage just kind of starts demonstrating impact, gets you over all these jumps, all these sort of weird passages, and Tundra just clears out enemies. It's going to be a recurring theme throughout the run. There's a little bit of rubber banding on the firewall, so don't panic immediately if it ever starts catching up to you.
Wow, all this impact.
Whew.
All right, this guy is going to be easy, though we're going to see a harder version of this fight in refights, so stay tuned.
Torchman, in general, likes to kind of stay impervious to you. Like right now, you can't actually hurt him, except with Tundra. And of course, as a full screen attack, it's really easy to just take out poor Torchman. He tries so hard.
Once he goes into his power gear, you can't hurt him with anything but Tundra anymore. So we need to make sure we have enough Tundra to finish him from that point. And I even have a little bit left over just in case there's a mistake somewhere.
It's pretty easy to hit him in his iframes.
Oops. Not yet. Wrong button. So running this game, like learning these stages, you actually have to learn multiple variations of each stage because depending on how many drops you get, you need to know what to do with that ammo. If you try and improv, you're going to die. Like, just don't ever improv in this game, no matter how good of an idea it seems.
Yeah, improving is a fast way to find yourself impacting off of a wall into a pit. So you have to be careful. Torchman's weapon does send out these jets of fire. With that high arc, it's just a really useful weapon in general. Of course, in this stage, it's also useful for blowing up all these explosive crates that are blocking the way and creating other alternate faster paths, including this one to another W tank.
I have so much impact.
Fun fact on the Twin Thriller, you actually want to use one Power Gear Tundra there, one not so Power Gear Tundra. Otherwise, it tends to survive.
Yeah. So, that is one of the weird things. Regular Tundra actually does more damage, but it's harder to hit with. Oops. Okay.
Huh. It's not entirely easy to jump through that ladder with Coil. Nice recovery by Sage there.
Backup strats. Know your backups. That's scarier than it looks.
That is a lot scarier than it looks. That's why I was letting it go. You actually have to use Torch up top to clear out the boxes so you can coil up there. And then you get your 4 rush coils in to climb this tower really fast.
So you can buffer inputs at the start of fights, and I am buffering a lot of inputs right now.
My favorite part of that last shot is where Speed Gear comes into it, just to kind of make sure he gets lined up properly.
If you don't use Speed Gear there at the end, you will actually, the blue shot will hit him before his iframes run out, or the red shot will hit him after he starts his power gear, so it won't do damage. You have to use at least a little bit of Speed Gear there. Knowing exactly how much is a skill.
So we're going to talk about Chain Blast a little more when we get to the end of Block Band stage. I do want to mention that there was a little tutorial window there. Much like Mega Man 9 and 10, Mega Man 11 gives you Rush Jet not from a specific Robot Master, but after you defeat 4 of them. 9 defeat 5, but whatever. That's part of the routing of this game, getting Jet for these later stages. And just like Coil, Jet does have a dedicated button, so it's going to be really easy to use.
Thanks to the Volt Drop.
Coil and Jet also share a weapon energy meter, and Coil uses 4 points of your 28 points of weapon energy. Jet uses 2 every few seconds, which makes Jet very useful for some quick jumps here and there. So you save energy over using Coil everywhere. That was a mini-boss.
It sure was.
So, Chain Blast fires these bombs. Sometimes they're small, sometimes they're big. What a lot of people don't realize right away is that you can actually hit down in the attack button again to detonate those bombs. And from there, people who look at the achievement menu probably figure this out faster. You can use the bombs to just completely take out these mazes that gave us all a little bit of headaches during the demo. Since this was the stage that was released as a demo. Stop scaring me.
Okay, no problem.
This is fine.
That's just Mega Man 11 speedrunning. Nice drop.
So there's another couple of vertical screens here, another few of these mazes, kind of more complicated versions of what we've seen so far on the stage. So let's talk about Blockman himself for a moment here. There's going to be a precise sequence, kind of again, this is closer to being similar to Impact, where there's a power gear phase that takes a really long time, and we just don't want to see it. So you're going to see a really precise set of attacks here that may not look like it makes sense at first, but just enjoy this.
So I would usually want to use a lot more impact on those last few screens, but I really did not get much in the way of drops. So I just had to do them the old-fashioned way.
A lot of the attacks that were set up there in that fight were basically so you could get that full charge on the Buster in time to do, was it 8 points of damage to him at once?
8 points of damage. And actually the fully charged Buster is the only thing that will hurt him while he was winding up to do his power gear there. But for some reason the fully charged Buster has like a piercing effect that will still do damage. Let's go.
Discounts on weekends and Wednesdays. You get 20% off on a Wednesday and a weekend, so we're going to stock up on a whole bunch of W tanks there.
So I bought 6, and we're going to be using all of them. And I'm probably going to pick up a spare.
Bounce Man stage is a thing.
Ugh, this is the hardest stage in the game. Don't let the cheery exterior fool you.
It's a lot of vertical movement, a lot of bouncing platforms. And a lot of impact to get used.
I got it. This is a little bit early to use a tank, but I got to do it.
If you're getting extra bolts, you're good. It's almost time for everybody's favorite mid-boss.
Jelly Frog?
Pump Master K. Oh, no.
No.
No!
No.
Not like this.
Okay. We survived. We survived the Pump Master K.
This is probably actually one of the worst rooms in the game.
Yeah.
Just a lot of opportunity to get stopped and sent backwards, and you got through it before I finished talking. Well done.
That feels good. I died a lot in that room in practice. It's so easy to die.
It's a good description of this entire game.
Yeah. Wow. So that was a room. Wow.
Ugh.
There we go.
So with the little ball platforms that kind of bumper bounce you around, if you're holding the jump button, you tend to gain height and just go a little further off of them than if you were not. A typical sort of trampoline physics for a platformer. So we see all these like fast weapon swaps. That's kind of what we were talking about earlier with the keyboard advantage.
I was trying to do a coil jet there. I couldn't get it. You can do a quick jump and land on a rush. Like, you can coil up into the air and then catch it with the jet jump. It's very, very precise, especially on this room layout. Makes it harder. I don't think I have enough. I'm just going to take the hit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do one small one. There we go. Knowing your Zeta ammo count is really important. If I did a power impact there, I wouldn't have enough for the boss.
Love all the lines the Robot Masters have in this game.
Fortunately, the boss is kind of easy. That is by far the most technical stage in the game. I kind of stumbled my way through it, but it wasn't too bad. But, I mean, watching a experienced player do that stage perfectly is like a sight to behold.
You're still just like swapping weapons like crazy, using everything.
Yeah, as you gather more weapons, the game just gets crazier and crazier. Because you can have any number of weapons you want on the screen, like as many as you can shoot. There's no limit. So you end up just spamming weapons all over the place in these last few stages.
Hey, Sagehero, can I get a quick sec?
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's been a pleasure sitting with you during the night crew tonight. My name is Vendrith. It's been happy to sit with you. I'm going to be passing over to Cross Product. He's going to be keeping you guys company into the early morning. Have a good night, everybody.
So yeah, Bounce Man's weapon's going to get a little bit of action here in the stage. It's able to take out a lot of these little laser spots. Of course, you're still seeing a lot of impact and a lot of torch. It's like Sage was saying a minute ago. Just the further you go in this game, the more weapons you see get used.
Doing that room right feels so good. That is such an impossible room. Oh, I got a drop too.
This is the Dread Spark.
Goodbye.
That was the Dread Spark. Usually I find the second half of the stage is actually a lot easier than the first.
Oh. Got me. Oh no. Yeah, if you get caught in these rooms, it hurts. Okay.
This is fun.
Just a little speed gear to make it through there. Just checking my rush count right there. I need to have 2 rush coils against this guy in order to do the quick kill. Oh.
If the quick kill fails here, fortunately Fuse doesn't really have like a long invincibility phase with his gear. He's just using the speed gear. And Bounce Man's weapon just kind of can fill the screen, and it will find Fuse Man.
Yep. So I got the quick kill up to the very last hit, and unfortunately I actually turned off power gear too quickly, which is a silly mistake to make.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about much. If you use the gear too much, it does burn out, and you have to wait for it to cool all the way down before you can use it again. It's a little meter that kind of curves forward underneath your health bar.
That's why you see me constantly toggling it, is because I'm trying to maximize it. Oops. Bonk. Oh.
Acid Man is the water stage, the gimmick being that the water slowly becomes more and more poisonous as you go. There's also a lot of currents in this stage that make Mega Man's movement a little faster in a few directions, sometimes directly towards spikes just like that.
Yeah, there are a lot of spikes in this stage too. No drop. What a bummer.
Shame.
Alright, here we go. I'm not going to take this too risky.
You can make that in one, but like Sage had said, that's a little risky.
Yeah, not in a marathon, because you go way back if you die there. This is the checkpoint. Ooh. Try to use an E-tank that I don't have. A little bit sloppy there, but I got through.
The red section's a little spooky.
Yep.
Some fast-moving currents in here.
That was not a good jump. I did not get very high off that ladder. Give me a drop. Oh, you're supposed to give me a drop. You can impact through this room really fast. Usually you want to impact when you can't slide, because sliding is faster than walking. All these achievements, man.
So the basic idea against Acid Man is to fire these blocks and just destroy his shield.
So that's 8 robots.
24, 35-ish.
Okay, okay.
Nice. One nice thing about Mega Man 11, you don't actually have to get too centered. I think you technically save a few frames, but it's not nearly as bad as it is in some of the other games.
Yeah, it's very minimal. Skip a cutscene here. Skip another cutscene here.
Skip Dr. Wily in his castle flying to the fortress. I do love the Gear Fortress music.
This is an intense stage, so I'm mostly going to be quiet.
So a lot of this stage takes place with these kind of rotating gears where you can kind of stand on the platform, although they will spin you off. And it's mostly over chasms, which is, well, this stage will give you heartburn. And yet, Sage is going to be finding these drops where he can just to get more impact.
I actually have full impact because I got drops from the first room.
Yes, we get the dreaded sign that Yoku blocks, the disappearing blocks, are back.
Oh,
That's not good.
that's okay. That's okay.
That goes back to what we were saying. A lot of this stage takes place over chasms, and just kind of one misstep with impact, and that's exactly how the game punishes you.
Fortunately, that checkpoint has ammo right there. So you can kind of just refill right there. Oh, wow.
Sniped.
Okay, so how many lives do I have left? 3?
3.
All right. So that is an extremely common failure point for runs. Like, it is not at all uncommon for a run to end there. That room is just impossible. If I fail it again, I'm going to do a backup strat.
So,
Something had to go wrong. You can't, you're not allowed to be good at Mega Man 11.
So Mega Man games also tend to have different ways of knocking Mega Man backwards. If you're playing 1 and 2, Mega Man tends to get knocked the way the enemy was facing or the shot was moving. Most of the rest of the series, Mega Man always gets knocked backwards to Mega Man. In this game, Mega Man kind of gets knocked back in the direction of the hit itself. So regardless of the enemy's facing or Mega Man's facing, if the shot kind of hits the left side of Mega Man will be pushed to the right. That last vertical screen it's a little tricky. Some of those gears do fall away after you jump on them.
Yeah. I was thinking about my ammo during that screen. I was not paying attention to what I was doing. I just done it so many times.
This is our old friend, the Yellow Devil. If you were paying attention during Mega Man 1 back in the day, this is the same pattern for the blocks entering the screen. And hitting with the quad chain blast is actually more powerful than just using a power gear chain blast. Easy.
Nice fight.
Yeah, that was really good. Only the guy in the back with the red eye is the weak point, but you attach the chain blast to one of the guys jumping around, and when he goes over next to the one that's weak, you detonate them manually. That's a really neat strat. There's an even harder one involving Rush Jet. Shout out to Peony, the world record holder, who does that kind of thing. That's beyond me. I'm just trying to not die.
Wily 2 has... If Wily 1 is the stage that has like the giant chasm of destiny that you have to cross and will instant kill you, Wily 2, despite all the spikes, I feel like it's more likely to kill you through raw damage. It's one of only a couple of stages in this game where I feel like that's a real threat. It's also a stage that shows off, once again, like Mega Man's entire arsenal. Using bombs on these pillars, using torch on enemies over your head. You still use Tundra to clear out screens. You're still using impact to go through these barriers. The other weapons do get some use too. Except Acid Barrier. It's awful.
Acid Barrier will have its day.
It will have its day. this stage. If you miss it the first time, kind of brings back the slow-moving wall of death behind Mega
Yeah.
Man.
It's behind me. You're not really going to see it, hopefully. But on the last screen, one of the last screens, you will.
Yeah, those spike walls move a lot slower than the firewalls do in Torchman stage.
Yeah, I didn't mean to pick up that with block, but fortunately there's a second one.
It's surprisingly safe to get over these sort of big stomper enemies with just a pair of full jumps.
Good luck.
The screen's fine.
Okay. It's not the strat, but it worked.
You killed all the enemies, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So this is Malverin. We have to open his shell to hit the weak spot inside. He's weak to impact and bounce. So we're going to be using a mixture of both. Impact does more damage, but it's harder to hit with. That's a good spawn. Ooh, I actually hit him too early. He still had iframes. Wow, that's super rude. Okay.
Nice.
Those are instant death pits on the left and right of the screen. If you manage to kill him and fall in during the death animation, Beat actually swoops in and pulls you out of the pit. So you win the double KO.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Beat is an item that you can actually buy at the shop to do that at any other pit in the game. You don't actually have to have gone to the shop, and I'm assuming it doesn't consume one if you have.
It does not. Yeah, it's a freebie. Would have been nice to have Beat earlier. Where were you? Really fell off after Mega Man 5.
Yeah. A slight comeback in 8.
So this is Boss Rush. I'm going to do the same strat against Impact here. But he gave me a different pattern.
I'm just sad he didn't say I like to spike.
Oh, I shot it too early.
There's no escape!
So this is his power gear that we're trying to skip. I did everything right. I shot him too early, and the blue shot went into his iframes. That's why he has exactly 3 health left. Most of these are going to be the same, but a couple of them are going to be different. This is going to be bounce, and you're going to be basically the same. Except if I mess up, I have extra impact now, so it's not quite as bad.
I bet you can't bounce like this.
There. Wasn't perfect. The red from the first Buster shot missed. Fortunately, your power gear goes back down during these boss intros, so that makes it very, very easy to make sure you have plenty of power gear. Cool. Chemistry.
Science.
That is not... Actually, that is the right weapon. My fingers are smarter than my brain.
Muscle memory, everybody. Part of the reason
Cool.
to bring out Rush there, I'm pretty sure it makes it easier to dodge, but it's also a switch back to Buster.
Yeah. This one's the same. Fuse Man is nets, and we will actually be using Tundra's weapon. I ran out. That's a shame, because this quick kill is really cool. You kill him right there in the center. What I was trying to say earlier is Tundra is nets, and we're going to use Fuse's weapon.
Tundra, one of the robot masters we bustered early in the game.
Yeah, this is a good bit faster. Not worth going to get Fuse yet in this stage, but there you go.
There you go.
Now we don't have enough Tundra to go around to use it all on torch here. So we're going to have to replace one of the Tundras with a Buster Shot. And that is going to be very scary because he's very random. Okay. Didn't quite go perfectly. We really wanted to hit him with a red or 2 charge shots, or 2 blue charge shots. I was able to hit him with a blue and some lemons, and that's good enough. And that's the last one.
Last kill.
Next stage is a Wily himself. So in the final Wily, first off we have this elevator section. And then we're going to, we're actually going to see Acid Barrier used. You have to hit him, to do maximum damage, you actually have to hit him with the shield itself. Not with the shots that you can shoot.
Follows the general trend that you want to use the weapon that seems to be the most awkward and hardest to use, at least use with any like level of effectiveness against Wily.
Shout out to Twitch Rivals.
His run is validated. During the Twitch Rivals Mega Man 11 competition last year, the joke was it wasn't a joke, it was an actual rule in there. We had to somehow fire bounce in this stage because it doesn't make any sense to do that, and now that's all we do.
Skipping cutscenes.
Shouts to the Skull Machine.
Oh.
So besides triggering the power acid barrier inside an enemy's kind of hitbox, you can fire large globs of acid out of this, which is very effective against the Wily machine.
Time is going to be when his health runs out. Time.
Nice.
37's all right. 37's all right. My PP is 34.56. So could have saved a little time. Lost a lot in Wily 1, falling in the pit twice. But is what it is.
All right, excellent run. Thank you very much, Sagehero, for that Mega Man 11